Do you like this intro? I spent several hours shooting and editing it. Did you get who will be the main person of our story today? Yes, the king of all apples in the world. I mean, Apple devices. His net worth was over 1 million when he was 23, and over 10 million when he was 24, and over $100 million when he was 25 years old. And it wasn't that important for him because he never did it for the money. Yes, that's Steve Jobs' real story. Of course, these facts are not everything that you need to learn from a person who made the world it is today. His way to the first million at 23 was quite classical for 1980s in the United States. That time, computers sold from a parent's garage brought sudden and huge money for many Silicon Valley tech crunchers. And most of them ended their stories very quickly, but not Steve Jobs. Let's deep dive today into Steve Jobs' success story from a son of Syrian immigrant, yes, you heard right, Syrian immigrant, to the most admirable entrepreneur of all times. Let's do it! Wait. Before that, take your iPhone, iPad or any Apple devices, or maybe Android devices, and click like button and subscribe. Otherwise, your iPhone will be never upgraded to new version. Okay, so let's go! Hi guys, Dmitry Bondar here. On this channel I bring in inspiring stories and easy to digest business lessons and success stories from the most successful entrepreneurs. Okay, coming back to Steve Jobs' story. To be honest, he was always one of the biggest inspiration for me. He experienced adoption as a child, and his dad, a Syrian immigrant, couldn't afford bringing up a child in America. From the very birth, Steve Jobs happened to be not just on a new land, but living in a completely new family. His adoption experience impacted later his very vision and belief in America dream, as he was capable of not just achieving it, but changing the very concept of this dream. By Steve Jobs, the American dream is not a story of your professional success and personal thriving. It's a story of how you influence people's life. The first lesson I found exciting to learn from Jobs, he once stated himself when talking about Apple's key competitor founder Bill Gates. Bill Gates be a broader guy if he had a dropped exit once or gone off to an ashram when he was younger. Hold on. Of course, I'm not going to teach you how to go to ashram and try different psychedelic substances. I'm sure there are a lot of other channels about this topic. I know there are a lot of better ways and safer ways to get a broader vision of yourself and your capabilities. Steve Jobs tried a startup. It was successful, but he wanted to be a broader guy. That's why he went to a corporate business. Starting a successful computer selling business in his parents' garage, he decided to drop it quickly. Why did he decide not to become an entrepreneur? Was it a good decision? Well, if he hadn't dropped his computers, we would have not had Apple as it is. Or we wouldn't have had Apple at all. Apple was quickly losing its market position in favor of Microsoft when Steve joined the company. Years later, when he was fired, Steve came back to startup experience. He started Next company, sold it to Apple and returned again to Apple. He combined an entrepreneurial spirit with a corporate strong and pushing management style, and that made him a leader who could develop a global brand to change the whole world of technologies. Searching for a broader vision of your capabilities and a way you can use them is the biggest lesson we can learn from this part of Steve Jobs' life. Try different ways, and one of them can bring you to success in a business. The second good lesson to learn from Jobs' success is devotion to innovations. Never ever Steve Jobs focused on the improvement of Apple's existing products. Innovation comes from saying no to 1,000 things. Steve Jobs. Have you ever used the Apple printer or Apple sweatshirt or rainbow cups with Apple logo or maybe the Apple scanner? No. Steve Jobs killed all these products immediately to save place for products we use today. He has a very strong focus on the most important things and products. His focus was on innovating new ones, those which would be useful, that people would enjoy and willing to buy.
Delivery for Lisa Simpson?
It's a gift from Apple. Oh, such beautiful packaging. I never thought a company could be my soulmate.
The design philosophy of Steve Jobs was to start with a fresh portable computer and imagine new products that people would want to use in future. This contrasted with the alternative approach of trying to adapt current models of product to consumer feedbacks and focus groups, the philosophy which Microsoft often uses following its mission to constantly improve its products.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is. No.
Jobs explains his philosophy of innovative design in a following way. If you fail with your product, drop it and try to innovate a new one instead of taking your valuable time from your team and putting more and more efforts to improve current product. After his return to Apple, Jobs half reduced the number of Apple's products. He never allowed the employees to work on a mess leftovers. He wanted to produce A-level exclusive quality products. When Jobs introduced the iPhone in 2007, which started the revolution of smartphones, his key point was the new Apple product would stop improving the existing smartphones by adding new buttons. It would start the completely new ones, which would be much more simpler, cleaner, and user-friendly. But remember, new ideas will make you alone. Steve Jobs never had co-thinkers around. Developing the skill of supporting yourself and following your dream is a key message to bring innovations into life. Never drop or betray your mind. This will help you stick to innovation philosophy in your business. The third important lesson from Steve Jobs' success story is his management style. He developed two key approaches in management and leadership at Apple. Let's fix all of them and make the rules for your team. The first approach is building and hiring only A-team players. Have you ever heard about A-level employees? He said, "My job is not to be easy on people. My job is to take these great people we have and to push them and make them even better." Well, yes, Steve teamed up the best people under his management. He called them A-players, professionals who are truly gifted and who he was in ongoing search. And you know, Steve believed that the difference between average and best workers is 50 or even 100 to 1. So how could he find them? Recruiting was one of the key tasks for Steve Jobs.
We agonized over hiring. We had interviews. You could go back and look at some of the interviews agendas. They would start at 9 or 10 in the morning and go through dinner. A new interviewee would talk to everybody in the building at least once and maybe a couple times and then come back for another round of interviews and then we'd all get together and talk about it.
The second approach for him was getting a great management. Keeping A players pushed and excited was a hard task. Steve Jobs focused on the great individual contributors in choosing the best managers for the Apple.
You know who the best managers are? They're the great individual contributors who never ever want to be a manager, but decide they have to be a manager because no one else is going to be able to do as good a job as them.
For example, there is a story that one of employees hired by Steve Jobs personally had an English major, knew nothing about technologies, but got recruited for a new high-level position as a manager because she had been a part of Apple team for some years and she showed her talents. Steve Jobs grew managers from inside the company. He was confident that wanting to be Apple team was a key requirement to afford a management position for a team. The first biggest lesson you can learn from Steve Jobs' success story is branding. What did Apple mean for Steve Jobs? Branding was not just a part of selling strategy. That was a philosophy that should make consumers happy. Steve Jobs referred to Apple products as to dreams. An iPhone isn't just a cell phone, no, it's just a smartphone. No, the iPhone represents the dream of doing everything on the go and being really cool while you are doing all of these things. You are truly free with iPhone and the dream that the iPhone promises. That's a kind of explanation that he put in every product he innovated. Steve Jobs believed in what he produced was the people's dream he helped to come true. So what is the takeaway? Learn to dream about your product and yourself before you are going to present it to the public or to investors. One more example, Jobs made an Apple Store completely different from other competitors. He focused not on improving or adding something to the competitors, he offered some new store design instead.
Mom, Dad, our mall got a Apple store. It's so sterile. My pods, my phones, a Brainiac bar.
And what makes Apple stores different? Messaging. Instead of long and often hard to understand or a kind of remember technical features and instructions, you get a simple and very attractive message on every item in the store. The image and the design of Apple stores today is the result of what Steve Jobs introduced. Here is an example of what you get if you search for one of the iPhones to buy. Branding policy must be integrated in every part of your strategic plan, be it design, manufacturing, sales or budgeting, it doesn't matter. This will bring up a sort of philosophy of your business, thus fixing a set of values behind your brand. Okay, let's make a summary for those who want to take out the most from this video. Let me resume all 4 lessons from Steve Jobs' success story. The first one, develop a broader vision of your professional picture. You shouldn't stick to just one single vision of where to go. Test, test and test again. Learn to combine independent contributor with a good team player in yourself. This combination will help you to be flexible and almost unbeatable in a business environment with a strong competition. The second lesson, be innovative, develop creative thinking and ability to see what the future will look like instead of seeing the present. Follow your dreams and don't care what other thinks about your ideas. Most leaders like Steve Jobs would hate asking others about their ideas. They would rather try them and innovate. The third lesson, learn to recruit and work with the A players only. This will demand good management and ongoing growth as a talented recruiter. It's a long-term process, it's not easy, but in the end you will have a devoted, ready to risk in your name team. Find and grow great managers with your team player who have stayed with you for years, even during hardships. And last but not least, dream about your product. Love it to make it loved by your customers. Develop a useful and simple messaging to your customer. Only your own solid belief in your product's value will make it good, long-learning brand. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur and earn first million or even billion in business like Steve Jobs, click the like button and subscribe to watch new videos. And please remember his words. Stay hungry, stay foolish.